and welcome to the session about editing essentials from newsrooms to newsfeeds. So here is this book which we almost completed in 2.5 years, and it's published by Atlantic. We'll just be talking about this book as around 60 authors have contributed in this book. We have 4 of them as panelists, and around 10 of them are sitting here. So and we have people who have joined online with us. There are around 18 authors who have joined online. And let me introduce, I'm Professor Surbhi Dahiya, and I work for Indian Institute of Mass Communication. And my co-author, co-editor has joined online, Dr. Aashish. Dr. Aashish Joshi works as Director of Production in Makhanlal Chaturvedi University, Bhopal. We have with us eminent panelists, Miss Chetna Kheer. She's a famous novelist. Her latest novel is Gisha in the Gotapatti, which is picking up so well. And she's an HT columnist. We have Dr. Rakesh Goswami, who is heading English journalism. And we have Dr. Maithili Ganju, former Dean of Manav Rachna. We have with us Professor Sangeeta Pranvendra from IIMC, Radio and TV Department. We have Dr. Aarti Prakash. We have Dr. Rohit Gandhi, who is the founder and editor-in-chief of DNL, Democracy News Live. We have Anita Parihar with us. We have Richa Vatsala with us. And we have around not less than 18. We have a senior journalist from the Hindu, Maridasan John. So there are around 18 who have joined online. And let us now, welcome the panelists. We have Dr. Chetna Kheer. Welcome, ma'am, and thank you for taking out time from your busy schedule. Background that I want to give you about this book is that how it came up. I was heading the Department of English Journalism when I thought of bringing out a book on various beats in reporting, crime reporting, court reporting, government reporting. And this is the book that I produced. This is called as Beat Reporting and Editing. And see, life comes a full circle. Sage India got shut down, and Atlantic, not knowing me, had purchased all the remaining copies from Sage India, and this book is also selling. So thank you so much, Atlantic, for this. And when I was doing the book launch for this book, Mr. A.K. Bhattacharya, who's the editor-in-chief of Business Standard, he just said during the book launch that, Surbhi, I'm not satisfied with the editing portion in the book because there's only one chapter in the book which deals with editing. So I said, sir, it's a promise, we'll bring out another volume on editing. That's how it started. And I thought of, when I was making the table of contents, I thought of some chapters. And then suddenly I thought that no, it should be a 360-degree book. So we should have print editing, photo editing, audio editing, video editing, digital editing, academic editing, everything under this umbrella. So this is how, this book took shape, and around 60 authors, all experts in, editing. I was not too good at audio and video editing, so Dr. Aashish Joshi helped me editing the audio and the video sections. And thank you so much. And that's how, we produced this book. So I would like to ask the panelists, what's your experience, ma'am, of, contributing a chapter, especially ma'am is a columnist with HT, and she has written a chapter about, headlines, how to write good headlines. So if we can just, you can share your experience.
A very good afternoon, and thank you, Surbhi and Atlantic and Aparna team for having us here. And so it's been quite a journey, doing this book. And yes, for me it was like revisiting to my days in the media. So I spent about 25 years in print journalism. So so I had a lot of real life experiences of how we used to handle headlines. So it was like a revisiting of those days. A lot has changed since then. Things must be different now.
Yeah.
But the basics always remain the same.
Yeah.
So it was good fun working with this team of so many academics, writers, authors, and we are so happy that we've been able to bring out the book before the World Book Fair.
Yes.
So we are all happy to be here.
So thank you, Chetna Di. Dr. Ashish, you're muted. Please unmute yourself. Could you please take us through your journey? आपने किस तरह co-edit की, audio section, video section, and what intellectual and practical challenges did you encounter while doing this? If you could please tell the audience.
सबसे पहले तो डॉक्टर सुरभि दहिया जी मैं आपके प्रति अपने आभार व्यक्त करता हूँ कि आपने इस इम्पोर्टेंट प्रोजेक्ट से मुझे चुना और मैं अटलांटिक पब्लिक रिसर्च का भी पढ़ना जी का आभारी।
Thank you, Dr. Ashish. Now I would like to ask Dr. Rakesh Goswami that, editors, they often work under intense time and, commercial pressures also. So how can they uphold credibility? Because your chapter deals with credibility and ethics in journalism while making rapid editorial decisions, especially when ethical considerations conflict with audience metrics or, organizational interests.
First of all, I'd like to thank Atlantic and Professor Surbhi Dahiya. I was one of the few ones who hopped onto this bandwagon at the towards the end. Probably I was not part of the scheme of things in the beginning, but I'm happy to be part of this group of authors who brought together this book. This, like Professor Dahiya was saying, this has covered all facets of editing, whether it is print editing, TV editing, audio, video, digital, everything. And I'd like to commend her for bringing out such books. She's doing great service to the students. When students want to study something, uh, these are books where they can find everything at one place instead of going to library and picking out different books for different topics. So thank you, Professor Dahiya, for doing this service, and I hope you continue doing that. I know there's one book on communication which is coming out very soon. She's always working on new projects. So far as the thing about ethics is concerned, uh, we've all been journalists and we understand the importance of being ethical in our reporting, in our editing. Nothing can you know Nothing is more important than being ethical, truthfulness, fairness, following all the laws. I think that is the most important thing for any journalist, uh, and for students of journalism. We have many students from IIMC here. Anyone who reads this book will understand that no matter how fast you have to break a story, how fast you have to turn a story, edit a story, but you cannot uh, disregard the ethical codes given out by different ethical bodies. So yeah, I think ethics is always very important.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Goswami. With this, I would like, we have online with us. I would ask Miss Dr. Maithili Ganju, along with Dr. Aarti, who co-authored a chapter on typography, that, in this digital first journalism, typography, I think, is no longer just about readability, but about narrative tone and also about emotion. So, how can typographic choices actively shape meaning and guide the reader's interpretation of a story? What do you feel, Dr. Ganjan, about this example?
Thank you. Before I come to your question, the mandatory thanking you for making me and Aarti a part of your magnum opus. I don't call it a book, it's a magnum opus on editing. And thank you for sharing the backstory, because we've come to know why you have done such a big and comprehensive study on the editing. Thank you very much for making us a part of it. Now, coming to the question that you have asked me, and particularly about typography, which is what Dr. Aarti, my colleague and very good friend, and I together thought of doing together for the book. In today's time, when we are in the digital first journalism era, typography, interestingly, has become the voice, the hero of what goes on when any person is going through and browsing through the digital, newspapers or digital content. When I say it has become the voice, what I mean is that it is the typography, the introductory visual look, which actually helps to make the reader understand how they are supposed to feel in terms of the tone and tonality, even before they have started reading the words. So this is happening because typography no longer stays to be just a static content. In today's time, it has now got and become a very important part of the design element that we talk about. And as a part of the design element, what is happening is that emotions and design psychology is the reason and is the kind of understanding behind people, designing, the illustrators and the designers designing how they are going to pull the audience. Therefore, very true, as you said, it's more of an emotional connect that we see through typography than a simple sort of, static, content that we would use to when we were talking about typography in good old times. So today it is about that. And what really we do is we, as designers, deliberately pick up elements. These would be elements of really how do you look at the font size, how do you look at the fonts itself, the character and nature of the fonts, how do you look at the way the structural spacing happens when it comes to how the words are put, or are they put in a fashion where they are looking lazy and relaxed, or are they looking professional, which is like the serif and the sans serif. A lot of people here are very much aware of what I'm talking about. But the philosophy that I'm trying to give here is about the importance of typography as a design element, which has the major role to pull and keep the audience interested in what we understand as digital journalism.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ganju, for elaborating. I request you to say 2 lines about the same.
My journey with journalism and journalism academia. I was a college going student when I started working at the radio, and that's when I understood how important sound is, how I can convey a lot many more things if my sound, pitch, tone, modulation, everything is correct. But with times you understand that it's not just about your pronunciation, it's about a lot many more technologies, technicalities, and now with changing times, when we have artificial intelligence coming in, it's also about ethics, morals, and legality. All these aspects have been touched in my chapter. I hope you will go through it and enjoy it. And my best congratulations to Surbhi ji and Aashish ji for actually carrying on this huge caravan along with you and setting it up. Congratulations.
I only know because there were around 65 authors here, and everybody was telling me, how did you carry all these 65 along? I was knowing that I was also doing another book, having another 50. So for me, it was 100, more than 115 that we were going together. So coming back to Chetna ji, your chapter outlines clear and do's and don'ts for the headline writing, especially. So, what in your view is the most common mistake that these journalists, because we have many journalists, budding journalists standing here, what is your view is the most common mistake that the journalists make today, and how does it affect reader trust and the long-term credibility of any news organization? And since you have also been, you have a long career in editing as well, so if you want to elaborate on, these things.
Yeah. So I think the big change that is happening in headline giving, especially ever since electronic media, started dominating our lives. So the whole focus has shifted to, emotional headlines, So if you want to draw attention. So, you give a very emotional, passionate headline. And I think that is where the biggest mistake happens. Because as a news person, as a headline giver, uh, you have to convey the emotion of the event, but you don't have to get carried away. So I remember, when Sri Devi passed away, that bathtub thing, so the whole emotion riding that Maut ka bathtub and, those kind of headlines. So that is the biggest mistake as a news person, headline giver. So you have to convey the development and its aspects, but not make it, an emotional, not sort of sensationalize and not, incite the readers or the viewers, to think in a particular way. So that is one example that comes to mind. And I do remember when we were on the news desk, and I think I had just joined as a sub editor, and we used to live very close to the Punjab Vidhan Sabha. And so when I boarded from my home, when in the night van to go for my night shift, and we heard some sounds, and some loud sounds, but sort of didn't realize what it was. By the time we reached the newsroom, so the news started trickling in. Byan Singh had been assassinated. And so as sub editors, we watched our seniors, discussing and debating what kind of headline should go. There was a lot of emotion riding the whole episode also. And but we saw how coolly our, chief subs and our news editors handled the situation. So, as a news person, you have to sort of, uh, keep a check on the passion, riding the event. And so they gave very, headlines which conveyed, the enormity of the event, what had happened, what it meant for the politics of the state, but not, getting so carried away. So that is, I think, the biggest challenge as headline writers. And I do remember that, there is one headline which has gone down in the history of headline giving. So whenever, you join as a sub editor, or you join the electronic media also, I think that's one example you'll always be given. So one headline defines the history of headline giving, and that is 3 shots that shook the nation. Yes. So that was the headline given by Blitz in the Nanavati, incident. So that is a benchmark, of good headline, So
Very catchy.
Very catchy. It conveys so much more,
Yeah.
And so headline has to be about the news development. It has to be a bit of emotion, it has to be a bit commentative of what it augurs for, the future of the country, the state, the city, whatever. So these are, I think, the broad things you have to keep in mind, when giving headlines.
Right. So thank you so much, Ms. Chetna, for elaborating on editing. She's a very famous novelist. Search her name and you will find many novels. Gisha in the Gotapatti is her latest one, which is making to Oxford. Oxford cover.
Long listed for that.
Covered for, long listed for that. So please give her a big hand for this. So I will come back to Dr. Aashish Joshi, my co-editor. Dr. Aashish, are you there? So Dr. Ashish, in a space where content is endlessly editable and instantly retractable, uh, how do you cultivate a culture of accountability and permanence in digital newsrooms? क्या accountability के parameters क्या हैं आपको आप क्या समझते हैं इस बारे में हमारी audience को please आप बताएं. You are muted, Ashish. Please unmute yourself. Please unmute yourself. You're muted. Yes,
Yeah,
now
sorry.
please speak.
प्रोफेसर सुरभि जी, आज ऑनेस्टली मैं कहूँ तो एक एडिटर की जो फंक्शंस है, की सबसे बड़ी परीक्षा यही है कि हम क्या हम व्यूज और वायरलिटी के लिए कॉन्टेक्स्ट से कॉम्प्रोमाइज कर रहे हैं, जैसा अभी हेडलाइंस के बारे में. और डिजिटल स्पेस में अगर हम बात करें तो सिलेक्टिव एडिटिंग, आउट ऑफ कॉन्टेक्स्ट क्लिप्स और सेंसेशनल जो फ्रेमिंग है, वो एक बड़ी समस्या आज के दौर में हो रही है. ये बहुत आसान हो गया, सब कुछ लीगली और टेक्निकली आपके इसमें सही हो सकता है, लेकिन जो सबसे टफ मोमेंट जब आप आता है, जब आप प्रोफेशनल प्रेशर कहता है कि दिस विल ट्रेंड, और आपके अंदर की जो अंतरात्मा आवाज वो कहती है कि बट दिस इज नॉट द फुल ट्रूथ. और एडिटिंग एसेंशियल्स में हमने साफ तौर पर कहा है कि एडिटर का पहली जो रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है वो प्लेटफॉर्म या प्रॉफिट नहीं बल्कि ऑडियंस और सोसाइटी के प्रति है. एथिकल एडिटिंग का मतलब ये है कि कॉन्टेक्स्ट को सेफ रखना, इमोशन मैनिपुलेट करने के बजाय अंडरस्टैंडिंग क्रिएट करना, और ये याद रखना कि व्हाट इज टेक्निकली पॉसिबल इज नॉट ऑलवेज एथिकली एक्सेप्टेबल. तो लॉन्ग रन में वही एडिटर मुझे लगता है क्रेडिबल होता है. और यहाँ पर गांधी जी भी मेरी बात से इत्तेफाक रखेंगे कि जो अपनी कॉन्शियस को प्ले करता है, और ऑनेस्टली आज के नॉइसी डिजिटल एनवायरनमेंट में क्रेडिबिलिटी जो है वो सबसे बड़ा हमारी पूंजी है, कैपिटल है. तो इस मुझे लगता है कि आज ये सब बहुत जरूरी है कि हम अपनी जो क्रेडिबिलिटी है उसको बनाए रखें.
जी जी, थैंक यू सो मच. हमारे साथ बहुत सारे ऑथर्स ऑनलाइन जुड़े हैं. थोड़े आवाज की यहाँ पर ग्लिच है. डॉक्टर श्वेता सिंह है हमारे साथ, डॉक्टर रिचा वत्सला हैं, मैरी दसन जॉन जी हैं जो कि एडिटोरियल सेक्शन हिंदू से हैं, अनीता सरीन जी मुंबई से जुड़ी हैं. अनीता जी ने बहुत एक स्क्रिप्ट राइटिंग पर चैप्टर लिखा है. अनीता जी आप
डॉक्टर सुरभि, आपके लिए आशीष जोशी डॉक्टर साहब को पहली बार देख रही हूँ. आपको भी बहुत बहुत congratulations for this Herculean effort. I see a lot of familiar faces, Dr. Shweta and others. I'm sure everybody's journey from what little I'm listening and some what I've read has been unique. Coming back to Surbhiji's question, I am a media practitioner plus a teacher since a good 37 odd years. I started my career as a scriptwriter for EMMRC as an employee.
So how was your journey writing a chapter on script writing, ma'am?
Sorry?
How was your journey writing this chapter on script writing?
Yes, I'm coming straight to that. So my task was to talk basically to and show students how you can write scripts in today's digital environment where everybody is watching reels or giving messages or using this as a tool, how to use it creatively to make your messages to go forward with your personal agendas in life. In terms of media students, script writing, as well as if it's script writing for a client, short videos have a process. In that, there is research, there is the objective, there is the target audience. Many times, students or even in pressures of work in a newsroom where I've also worked, we have been doing things within a time frame. But
Yeah.
what I emphasize in my chapter, one and all, is that the process of script writing for an enriched script which gives you information according to the target audience which you have to research. It is a process that all of them have to do, and every time, depending on the genre, depending on the client, depending on the brief, a script has to be worked out. Like
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Anita. We have some technical glitch about the voice. Otherwise, I would have taken all the authors on panel here. But I'm just now focusing on some people who are here, and we have, as you know, our panelists here. Dr. Rakesh Goswami, who is heading the English journalism. I would like to ask you, sir, that from your experience, where should editors draw the line between refining a story for clarity and altering it in the ways that may compromise truth or context or fairness, and what framework can guide such decisions? What is your view on this?
So I think no editor should ever tinker with a story that affects the truthfulness, fairness, credibility, etc. No matter how much you want to edit, you want to cut out something, you want to add something, but the crux of the matter is that the credibility and the truthfulness, fairness, factual, all these things should always remain. A good editor always edits and not rewrites. Rewriting is very easy. I can pick up someone's copy and write it the way that I write. That is the easiest thing to do. But good editors would always want to retain your signature in the piece, so that anyone who is reading your piece knows that this has been written by someone whose signature is familiar. At the same time, looking out for weeding out the mistakes, grammatical mistakes, style mistakes, issues where more clarity is needed, if some more quotes are required, if some more explanation is needed, all that the editor will always call for. In good newsrooms, all stories once edited are played back to the reporter, so that the reporter also has a say that, okay, whether I agree with the changes done to the story, or I don't agree to this changes. So this back and forth will keep on happening between the editor and the reporter, and in the end, thing that comes out, the piece that is published in the paper the next morning, is always credible. There's been a lot of gatekeeping, lot of back and forth, all questions, issues raised. uh, I don't think there's any issue of drawing a line between rewriting a story by losing its credibility. No editor would ever do that. I mean, editing or rewriting does not give you the authority or the power to change facts, or to you only want to add value or make stories clearer, so that the readers understand. Reporters often end up writing in the language that their sources speak. So if you are a crime reporter, you will start writing like a police person. So all that is needed.
Thank you so much, Dr. Rakesh, for throwing light on this subject. And we are falling short of time. I have many questions for Dr. Shweta, for Richa, for Aarti, for Tausif, for Meredith and John, and Rohit Gandhi. All others will join. And because of the paucity of time, I would have to wind it up here. And I wish all the authors very best to keep contributing chapters to my books. The latest one is